Hi, it's Erik Paulsen. Welcome to the video conversation this week. It's been nice to be in Minnesota despite the heat. Actually had a chance to visit several different healthcare companies this week. Spent some time also meeting with some constituents that were urging me to support their initiatives addressing rare diseases, which I've been very supportive of, as well as meeting with folks in International Justice Mission and human trafficking. Those are some of the highlights for the week, but now we're going to get to our questions. And the first actually comes in an email from Tim in Excelsior. And Tim writes in, "Dear Congressman Paulsen, the Antiquities Act is responsible for protecting our precious cultural and historic resources, including the Statue of Liberty, Grand Canyon, and Zion National Park. I am writing to urge you to support preserving the Antiquities Act as it is, to ensure the ongoing protection of our lands and history. Please support Amendment number 41 of the Department of the Interior, Environment, and Related Agencies Appropriations Act, coming up for a vote soon. Sincerely, Tim." Actually, Tim, thanks for sharing your thoughts on that. As many of you may know or may not know, President Roosevelt was the first president who signed the Antiquities Act into place. It actually essentially allows the establishment of national parks, national monuments, Civil War battlefields, and 16 different presidents have used it for that purposes. And about 275 million visitors every year visit those national parks, and I'm one of them. We have several key components of the national park system right here in Minnesota, for instance. And I want to make sure we continue to preserve and protect these national treasures. I did support renewing the Antiquities Act and keeping it in place regardless of who the president is, regardless of who the administration is, because it is so important to preserve these parks and monuments and Civil War battlefields for future generations. And it's one of the reasons why I've continued to receive the National Parks Heritage Award for my support of the parks. Next up, we got a question from Amanda in Rogers, who writes in, "Representative Paulsen, as a mother of 3 and with summer vacation in full swing, I've noticed that my kids are using unsafe routes to cross I-94 to get to the other side of the city so they can spend time with their friends. As you can imagine, no parent likes knowing their kids are unable to safely visit their friends, and I wanted to see if there's anything you could do to help solve this problem. Thank you, Amanda." Actually, Amanda is sharing the concerns that many of you may not be aware, but the city of Rogers is divided in half by I-94. It separates neighborhoods and schools and different communities within the city of Rogers as a part of that. And it has become more of a challenge with only one essentially pedestrian or bridge crossing connecting those parts of the city over I-94. And as a result, children and adults have been using other methods of finding their way across I-94 that aren't so safe, that aren't intended for pedestrians. And what I've done is reach out and write a letter and contact Commissioner Zelli at the Minnesota Department of Transportation asking if we can help identify working together, ways to work together to bring together funding or identify funding sources for additional pedestrian crossings. I want to thank everyone that took the time to reach out this week. Continue to contact me anytime on Facebook, on Twitter, or on Instagram. I also want to mention that I had a great visit this week at my Coon Rapids Congress on Your Corner event. Those one-on-one events, which are mini town hall meetings, are a great way for me to continue to effectively represent you. Have a great weekend and a great week, and we'll be in touch.